Welcome to the Impactful Engineer Project. I'm Steve Maxey, and with my co-host and brother Jake, we are here to bring you guidance, fresh ideas, and the tools to help you become an impactful engineer.
Welcome to the Impactful Engineer. We have 3 episode types. 1, Steve and I get on here and yell at you. 2, one of us gets on here and yell at you. 3, we bring on a guest on and we yell at each other yelling at you. Those are the 3 types of episodes that we have. That's it.
Yep.
Oh, and what's on your mind?
Yes.
And I think we'll do one of those today.
Yeah, we're doing a retro episode type because we haven't done one of these in a while.
Yeah.
It's probably been like 100 episodes or so.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
I know. It's been a minute. So, yeah. So, also, we are trying something super crazy innovative. We are asking you to share the show.
Yeah, right? Crazy.
I know. It is the best way that we can grow the engineering community from this podcast is by people sharing the show and leaving ratings as well.
Super easy to do.
Super easy. It just takes
you just
2
click
clicks.
the dots.
Yes. And that'll
You don't even have to type anything.
I know. That'll bump us up so other engineers can find us and of course by word of mouth by sharing the show to your colleague, etc. All right, Jacob.
Yeah. What's on your mind, Steven?
What's on my mind? All right. It's been a while since we've done one of these. Yeah, so I think this week probably the most impactful thing that kind of popped in to the week was controlling your emotions and in your emotional state in responses in conversations, and even from a leadership perspective. And if you need to have a hard conversation, like making sure that you and the person you needed to give that feedback to is in a solid emotional state. So you never want to get yourself into trouble by having an emotional outburst in a conversation. If you're hearing something hard, go ahead and open that. Oh, there you go. That was very pleasant. Yeah, if you're in a conversation and you're receiving hard feedback, you don't want to instantly reject that feedback. You want to just listen, keep a level head, accept the feedback, and then if you have responses, keeping yourself in that moment, but say, hey, I hear what you're saying. Let me think on that, and I'll come back to you when I have a moment to process. And I'd like to have a conversation, extending on this topic.
Yeah, that's the piece of advice that helped me the most in my career was given some space between responding. Not that I was getting like really hard feedback all the time, but I was more like ready to just jump in and put the gloves on.
Oh yeah.
So taking the time to just kind of let it dissolve a little bit and then coming back. But getting a heads up on hard feedback is great. So if you're a leader, like give the heads up, like, hey, we're going to have our one-on-one this week is going to be some feedback I have for you and from the team.
Yeah.
And so just prepare yourself for that. Like get in the mind state of, we've talked about how to do this before, our feedback and stuff like that. Just, it's going to be one of those, like, let's do it. We'll see you there. Is good for me, especially. But if you get blindsided or something happens where it's pretty harsh in the moment, then yeah, you got to do what Steve's saying. Do your best anyway.
Yeah. It's human nature, right? You want to instantly defend yourself, but you have to consider where the perspective is coming from, and you can't do that when you're in a heightened emotional state. So you need to pull back a little bit, consider the perspectives, and consider where you could have maybe improved, the situation, and then go back and have that conversation and come with your, supporting evidence of the conversation.
Right.
As a leader, we've given the advice before that you want to give feedback as soon as possible because it's more effective, which I do agree with. But, here's the but, is if the person you need to give that feedback is in a heightened emotional state, right? They're real amped up or real angry or whatever. That's not the right moment to give that feedback. You want to be timely, but you need to give them a moment to cool off. And when they're in a better emotional state, that's when you can follow up and be like, hey, I want to either hey, I want to have a conversation about such and such. Let's put some time on a calendar so we can both sit down and one on one and just kind of hammer through it. Or if it's like a smaller type item, a little lower impact, then you can address it then and there. But don't immediately jump in to give that feedback when they're in that heightened state.
It won't work out for either of you.
No, not at all.
Yeah, those situations sucked too. Like when you're in those states, you just need to like get out of there.
Yeah,
because you're just gonna create this whole mess for yourself.
Yeah,
I don't know if anybody's ever been in that mental state before. I mean, I have. But,
oh yeah,
clearly, Steve, you've come across people that in your career and you've seen this happen.
Yeah, I mean,
I've seen it happen too. But
yeah, I've been in it myself. I've seen other people do it, and I've been on the management side of that scenario. So I've kind of been in all three different perspectives, and I'll give a personal example from a number of jobs ago. Me and the owner of a company kind of had we really did have a difference of opinion on a certain subject, and we were both heated in the moment and going back and forth. And this is long before I knew any of this kind of stuff, right? Going back and forth, I was defending my position, he was defending his. I mean, in the end, he's the owner's, right? So there's that. But he's just like, if you don't like it, yeah. You don't like it, you can leave. And I was just like, okay, I will. And then I left. And that was pretty much it, And was that the smartest decision in my life? I mean, well, in hindsight, maybe it was, but maybe it wasn't though. It was definitely the wrong decision in the moment though. I should have just, cooled off and received the feedback, and then maybe had a more constructive conversation later on. And that scenario wouldn't have played out the way it did. So that's kind of the big I did it wrong scenario. I know you had one where you did it right. So you want to share that?
I mean, yeah, and I just wanted to make the point too that it happens a little bit all the time, like at a very light level. You might even go unnoticed, right?
Yeah,
but
that's very true.
The more you can practice to turn around and get curious and ask questions and have constructive conversations, like first of all, it's selfish because it's the better that you're going to get at your job and the better you're going to understand, because there's always a little nugget of truth in every single argument. And the more you can understand, even the more you can understand the person you usually argue with, you'll win more of the encounters because you'll understand how they work. You know what I mean? Not like the object is to win, but to diffuse. You can get very much better at that, right?
Yeah, I was going to say you both win.
Turning it into constructive conversation, then you both win. So you're learning more to help them help you help both of you, and the other way, it just doesn't. And then it could become normal practice if you do it the other way all the time, and then you're really getting nowhere. You might feel good, but you're really getting nowhere.
Oh yeah, because defending yourself in the moment, like just instant, feels good. From all the endorphins and everything. You're like, oh yeah, I got him.
Yeah, and you kind of think about being able to do that at some point, right? You're like, man, if this ever happens, I'm just telling them the way it goes, know. And so you're amping yourself up for it. You're like, and it gets you nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. Go run to the top of a mountain and scream or something, or do a yell. Like that might help you. I don't know. Oh yeah, but back to what. So yeah, like one of the biggest turning points in my when I was a career engineer. Now I'm the owner of my own company. I do whatever I want. But when I was trying to climb the ladder and do better and make more money and all that, one of the biggest pieces of advice, or I guess critical feedback that I received, was just make it, quote unquote, making it less the Jake show, quote unquote, making it less about me, Jake centric was the wording. And for me, that's like pretty harsh feedback because that's not how I feel at all, but that's how it was perceived. So this was a lesson in perception and a lesson in receiving some feedback that I could actually make a change on, which are two huge things that you can unlock in your career. Receiving feedback well and managing perception, because it's always around. Always. I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking about perception. But yeah, I took that feedback and it was a quasi, like this person like quasi set it up, but we were always talking, and he was always giving me feedback, and I was dishing it back, and like kind of like going back and forth, and so I was given like one little inkling of like this is going to be harder than usual, but um, yeah, I was all pissed off inside, and just like nobody understands me. Yeah. But I just like, okay, thank you. Talked about it later when I like put the facts and the pieces together, and I could see the evidence. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is how I'm, and the end of it was, this is how I'm being perceived, so it matters not how I feel about it. It doesn't matter.
Which
it's
is
just, that perception has been built. You can't change it.
Which is a huge concept to discover for every engineer, right? Once you discover that on your own, or even like, you know, through a show like this, that's going to be huge in your development.
It's so hard to hear that, and then because immediately you think, yeah, that totally makes sense as long as it's not me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh yeah, I could give that advice to everyone, but when it comes to you, it's like, well, no, that doesn't apply to me. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't do that.
Yeah, because everyone has blind spots, right? you have things that are about you that you don't realize that other people see.
Right. But I'm right though, Steve.
Yeah.
Like it's everybody else. You know?
Yeah.
Even on this show, it's like, that's good for you guys that you came across that realization, but I don't do that sort of thing. I'm already beyond that. I've already leveled up. Like, I don't, no. Yes, you do. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you on your point, but
no, it's really just identifying those blind spots is a huge career win, and reducing them down to zero is the goal. You'll never get there, right? There's always going to be a blind spot that you have that you just don't see that other people do. But aligning other people's perception of you with the perception of yourself that you have is how you win.
Hey, my fellow impactful engineers. If there's one thing that you could do to help out this community, is to keep listening to the podcast, but also that if you found value in it, to share it with one person, give us a 5-star review, or even leave a text review. It'll only take a few seconds of your time. Find that person that you think could enjoy some of this or learn from it, and pass on the good word. Now back to the show.
Yeah. And that's the point, is that it'll never be zero. Like, you'll never be perfect. And that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Is to realize that, accept it forever, and move through it with higher and higher skill.
Yeah.
Not elimination, just getting better.
Yeah. And
a lot of things.
Yeah. And how do you identify those things? You ask for feedback, and you take it well. And we've covered this a million times, but taking feedback well is how you get better and better feedback from people.
And that's what's normal. And that's what should happen all the time.
Yes.
That's what's going to happen in this company that I'm creating. It's going to be constant, and it's going to be constructive, and it's going to be the norm. There's not like, oh, hold on, we have this special meeting about feedback. Or, you know, I'm going to deliver some stuff to you. It's like, no, we're going to move, get better, always adapting. It's going to be a normal part of the process.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not sharing feedback, and not helping each other win, and not focusing on clearing out and getting better at eliminating blind spots is going to be what we're going to talk about seriously if it's not being done. Because those are not the type of people that I want on my team.
Yeah.
I want people that can move through it fluid without getting caught up in the emotion of it and taking it personally, and just thinking that each other are the problem. It's like, no, this is how we operate in this business. And it's been proven again and again in my own eyes that I have witnessed to be the best and most efficient way to improve business. So that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. So speaking of your business, I think you have something on your mind from your happenings lately.
Yeah, what's on my mind is speed, because it's one of the most advantageous things that I can do right now as a single owner, like a solopreneur. Like, speed is a huge differentiator, especially in the AEC industry. Like, you're talking like scopes of work take like, 3 or 5 days, and then an RFI takes so many business days, and to turn around a submittal that's 2 sentences takes 13 days, and it's just like, I saw it all the time, and I'm like, guys, this is agonizing to me.
Yeah.
When these things take so long to push through. So, and I know that is a normal part because it was like everybody,
Mm-hmm.
So
It's an
what can I
expectation
do?
in the industry.
What can I do to be different? Right? I can be fast. So I'm setting myself up to be really fast right now. But it kind of like why I was talking about it earlier before we started recording was because it was frustrating because I want to move fast, but all the parts in the chain have to move fast in order for me to move fast, right? And so I still rely on other people, other organizations for information and for flow and to get things done. And we're coming up on a long weekend, and then people are tacking on taking the Friday off so they can extend the long weekend, right? But business is still moving. RFPs are still coming in. Requests for quotes are still coming in. And you just get all these emails back. Oh, we're out. The team's gone forever. We're not going to look at our emails ever. We're like, we'll see you next year.
We're just
I'm just like, guys, but
month.
things are still moving. Yeah. So I see speed as such a differentiator right now. But anyway, how that applies to your career is what we're about. So let's talk about that. And of course, everybody can latch on to the. Everybody would agree with speed is good. The faster we can get things done, the better. Yes, and everybody knows that. And we talk about a ton of things that we know.
Yeah.
Everybody really does know what the best, pretty much 99% of the time, the best thing to do is. They just don't do it.
Yeah, and there's
for some reason.
Oh, I know the reason. There's a single
Give
word.
it to us.
It's called risk.
Yeah.
It's a risk to the quality of the product. It's a risk to the cost. It's a risk to et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Is this speed by itself?
Yes.
Okay, because I was talking about everything.
Oh, I know.
How to be a great dad. How to be a great husband. How to be a great son. How to be a great friend. How to be a great career engineer. How to live a great life. How to be healthy. Everybody knows the answer.
Yeah.
They just don't do it.
Yes.
That's the point I was making. But yeah, back to speed. Risk is a big deal. Mistakes being made.
Wrong calls,
moving too a big one that I used to get is moving too fast. You design too far, and we haven't had the inputs that we need, and all this stuff, which I think is complete horseshit. But anyway, there's ways to be fast, but here's something you can tie to your career. As Renz Hayes would say, because I see his content a lot, moving fast is great, but the whole team needs to move fast. Information flow needs to move quickly. You need to ask the right questions in order to move fast. And your mentioning of risk comes in because everyone, these multiple member teams, everyone wants to protect their own, and they each individually know that moving fast is going to cause some issues if not everyone is on the same page. So that collectively is what slows everything down. It's because no one's willing to be the fast person all together as a group. And they want to blame this thing for not happening, and that's why they can't move, and then this thing for happening, and then that piece of information is not here. So it has to be a collective effort. So in a team environment in your career with your other
like cross-functional teams and
even that too, is same department, other department, whatever. You say risk, I just say kind of like fear.
Yeah, well, it's fear of risk, or
yeah. So in your, say you're a brand new engineer, how do you go super fast? Right.
I mean, this ties into what I was going to say is the two things that help you move faster with low risk is going to be experience is one, right? Which obviously if you're a new engineer, that doesn't apply. And the other one is systems or processes. If you have a process or a system to accomplish a task without even like thinking, you can just hammer through it real fast. That is a way you can move quickly through something, even with inexperience. And it takes an experienced person usually to create that system or process.
Yep. And my take on it, and we've said this a million times before, of course, but if you want to move fast, you need to already have the pieces in place. So systems for doing, but then people and expertise for moving information forward, for gathering the inputs that you need, for aligning schedules, for all these things that keep you from moving fast. So my take is build the network quickly, know the who's who in your company, know their schedules, know how quickly they can turn things around, know all the parts and pieces and who needs to handle it
Mm-hmm.
and in what order. That's a huge skill to build to increase your speed
and anticipate, not only the current process that you're in, but what if something goes wrong? What is your countermeasure to that issue, right? And anticipate it happening. Have the things in place to take action. And if it doesn't, great. But if it does, you're already set to go.
Yeah, and how I usually approach people is to do the tasks. Like, they want to know everything before they start and that it's the right direction, which inherently slows everybody down. So what you can do is tell them, hey, this is not concrete yet, but if we, for very little effort, we can put ourselves in this position so that and it's been proven 95% of the time on every project to actually go this way, but we're not there yet. When we eventually do, we're already 3 steps ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very low risk and low cost to just get to that point. And then that other person will most of the time have a system for you. So they can send you a spreadsheet, they can send you a document that outlines how to do it, whatever. Or they can fit it into their next week's workload to spend 2 hours on the thing to get it to you. Instead of, we don't have all the answers yet. No one's really called back on this. So we're not starting on it yet. And then all of a sudden everybody's go mode because they've figured it out and they want it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. And there's expectations to manage there, and there's other tips and tricks and stuff like that. But damn, if you can have things set in motion and already in place to a certain point, that it just increases your speed.
Yeah. And
so be thinking about this.
And there's a laundry list of items that are easy to deviate or change along the way in a project. And it's not going to, you're going to be set back further by not starting at all than by starting down one path and having to make a change halfway through.
Because there's so many commonalities between all paths. There's many paths up the mountain, but a lot of it looks the same for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can skip over to another path and delete one path, but have 80% of the stuff ready to go. You're changing you're just tweaking a little bit.
Yeah.
There's things that are the same for every project. Get going. You know what I used to just yell about? This project at some point is going to need drawings.
Yeah.
And we kind of know
what they look like.
What the list of drawings is that we're going to need. We kind of know. Like,
yeah. You at least get the templates saved.
and then it's like, oh, we're going to do nothing on this until we get the information. And then it's like, oh, we have the information. Cool. Now we have all the answers. Let's get it on our drawings. It's like, oh, well, no one's set up the sheets yet. The border's not even in. We haven't asked the architect.
Part numbers aren't drawn.
Their model. Like, yeah, we're still trying to get the sheet numbers right, and the cover sheet's not even created. It's like, why haven't we just done all of this already?
Yeah.
And then tweaked it a little bit when we got our information.
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of speed too. So just be looking around for things like that you can do. And another way to do it is to reverse engineer projects. So as soon as you finish one, you kind of just start at the end and go backwards and go, okay, for each of these major milestones that we did reach, what were the things that we had to do before we got there? And then you can start building your next project strategy, which you should have. Mm-hmm. Believe it or not, you should have a strategy, and you should have dependencies and things that you're going to do.
Yeah. I mean, every organization that's been around for a while is going to have a project process, right? Whether it's like a product timeline or, whatever. They're going to have that defined, and that's because they figured out what all those prerequisites were to get things done. And, that's 80% of your project right there.
And as much as, that's right. I'll throw in another little nuance. As much as you like to go really fast, sometimes slow is fast. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. And this comes up in folder organization. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you how many times I've been on the rabbit hole of all right, got to figure out this control scheme, got to pick all the parts and pieces because it's got to be really biddable. And this is a complex area of the building, so we got to really think about it down to the relay, right? So, you do all your research, you get all your cut sheets, and you're just kind of saving them to the desktop or saving them to wherever because you want to fly. You want to get the answer.
Mess.
And then you get the answer and you're like, yeah, I got the answer. And then you do the thing and then all your evidence and the route there is scattered everywhere. So sometimes being slow and saying, all right, how am I going to organize these cut sheets? How am I going to know that this was the discovery research period? Make sure you organize yourself right. document what you discovered so that anyone can open it up and see why you did what you did.
Mhm.
And that quote unquote slows you down, but it's really going to speed you up, because 2 weeks from then, you've done that same process for 10 other projects 20 times, and you're going to get back to this one and someone leaves a review comment, or you yourself question what you did, and you're like, oh man, why did I do this again? And then none of the files are anywhere and you do the whole thing over. So
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
There's a dichotomy for sure.
Yeah. All right. So, take feedback well. Don't punch nobody in the face. And then think about how you can be fast, because speed wins, man. Speed really does win.
Especially in engineering, it will set you apart.
Yep. We already did our outro share the show thing.
I know.
That's it.
Later.
Oil.